Hi everyone, this is Siddharth.
Janani and
And
Dabba.
oh yeah, hi. This is our tiffin box from Sapurnahara, completely empty because all of the food is on our plates. Today we've got papaya and dates salad, fruit salad, and then there's a cinnamon rice. Hee I got the piece of cinnamon and it's visible, so I'm unlikely to chew it by mistake. Um, then soppin saru, then a peanut chutney, and a brinjal curry, and of course our flaxseed laddu to end the day with. But we have something better than flaxseed laddu, which will come up later. Yeah, so welcome again to Dabba Stories. We're happy to have you here.
And encouraged that we were able to keep it up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and we've already started getting requests about what topics we'd like to talk about. So today is kind of related to a request.
Yeah. So
Huh.
we've had an interesting year and a half growing Achintya up. A very interesting 9 months before that being pregnant, because we realized that we relate to people differently around us, and they relate to us in the kinds of stories and advice and um, aspects and facets to their life that we only recognized because we are now parents.
Hmm.
But one part of that is really interesting is the stuff that revolves around gender.
And people's ideas of what a mother should do versus what a father should do for a child.
Yeah, it was very interesting. So the first thing that happened after Achintya was born that was uh, funny for us to go through was Siddharth and I assumed that he's going to be there for every minute of that journey as well. But that was really odd for everybody around us. People whom we really love and respect just hadn't been raised with having as hands-on fathers as Siddharth is. So we had, it was day 3 after Achintya was born, day 2 I think. He was still in the hospital, and we had our lovely grand aunts visit us.
Who live next door to my parents, and one of them made this one of the parties made this uh, statement when she came in saying, I was expecting you to come back home and so that I could congratulate you, but you didn't come, so we came to the hospital to congratulate you. And at that point it struck us why would the father be with the child in the hospital for the 3 days that they're supposed to be there? But yeah, there have been so many stories of uh, and it's not just like, oh, we are the perfectly gender equal couple that's fighting it out in this world. It's been a lot of learning. Like in so many places, I feel like initially I wouldn't volunteer for things or do certain things, and I recognize ways that I felt like, oh, I should be doing this. Like, why am I not doing my work? I should be doing my work. But it's been fun because rather early on, um, we decided and divided up roles,
Yeah, I'm in charge of input.
and I'm in charge of output. Right, so that this was from day one.
Yeah.
She fed her Chintya. I cleaned up his diapers. And he's grown up entirely using cloth diapers. Uh, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's taken the role very seriously. I wonder if you were talking about how we're not the perfect parents, right? In terms of gender, and I realized something through our relationship as well as through motherhood, which was that I have guilt around not doing things as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we went to two different weddings before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And two
When
different
Achintya was an infant.
when Achintya was an infant. And it was interesting to meet all the people who were wondering why Siddharth was taking care of the baby and not me.
And this was a matter of Achintya likes slings. He was he was slung up, and my after going, Janani went through a delivery. Her back is was in worse shape for carrying baby around for extended periods of time than me. So like he got used to me being the one who slings him and walks around,
Yeah.
and he sleeps so well in a sling. He actually slept through like the whole wedding ceremony of one of those weddings in the sling.
What do you feel you struggle with as a gender stereotype that you haven't removed from yourself fully?
I think one of the hardest ones to work on is sort of delegating us, like not delegating, not taking responsibility fully on decisions. Like I'm just like, Janani, you know his food situation better. Like you decide food.
I have a story to tell on that one.
Oh, what happened?
A while before Achintya was born, I think this was the first couple of years of us getting to know each other, and I told you, Siddharth, you need to take more decisions. Okay? You can't ask me to always take the decision. To which you responded, okay, you tell me when I should take more decisions. And then you caught yourself and you realized.
But on this note, and like on the topic of Achintya and parenting, it's been to a certain extent sort of saying that okay, you know better. Like I don't know better. In multiple times, and I mean, yeah, it's. I feel like I would have better approached those situations by saying that this is what I think, rather than being quiet about it. And in a way, it's also then in my mind, if I don't take up that responsibility, I also, if something not good happens in my mind, I just say, oh, that wasn't because of me. But it is like I'm also a part of it. So I guess that's been the hardest
I
gender
didn't
stereotype.
recognize that.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I feel like you don't struggle with, and I think this is because of, I think the family got rid of this a while ago. Your family got rid of this a while ago. Of doing roles. So the point that you mentioned about decision making is people who are responsible for things or people who think about things. I feel like you don't have trouble doing things that might otherwise be gender typed. Cleaning the house and going out for errands and planning finances, all of these things that might otherwise be gender typed. I think you don't have that in your brain. I think that's because of how Amma and Appa are.
Yeah, it's true. But also, like, that reminds me of. So again, we're on our way to one of these the two weddings that we spoke of, and it was in Delhi. We took a flight because it's far. Achintya was small, and I go to the airport again. Achintya is in a sleep, okay, because that's how we travel, and I'm holding him, and I was like, cool. I'll just go through the security check, and the airport security check is separate for men and women. And I show up to the guard, take off the sling, and I'm holding Achintya up. And the guard looks at me very puzzled and says, "Koi ladies nahi hai, sir?" Which means, like, isn't there a woman who can take the baby? I was like, no, baby here. Me, like, I'm here. Like, could you deal with this? Like, you can scan me. I'm holding the baby. It was really funny because like he called his supervisor and asked what to do.
Yeah, he had never experienced a man holding a baby, so he didn't know what the security protocol for that was. That's pretty amazing for a world that assumes that we're so progressive and that women have rights. That I think is a very clear indicative of where we are.
Yeah. So,
Oh.
but yeah, what is a gender stereotype you found challenging? I'm sure there are.
Like I mentioned, the guilt around not being responsible for some things that otherwise traditionally women would be responsible for fully. That is sometimes challenging.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that you get trained on as an Indian woman is to um, predict the needs of the men around you and take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, that should be the skill of every single other person, but as a woman, you get trained to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and because you're the only one in the relationship who's trained to do it, the other person, you pull more weight than you should ideally be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because I'm used somewhere subconsciously used to the idea that I should be doing that much in a relationship when I'm not doing that much. Even doing the 50% feels like I'm underperforming. I think the other thing I struggle with
Mm.
is people praising you for your efforts. I- Um, they're a lot more surprised and positive about the fact that you do your 50% or more. I don't know how to judge 50%
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or not.
yeah.
But
I mean, input and output is clearly 50-50.
yeah, I think not that I struggle with it, I just constantly am surprised by it. Surprised that they're surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been, and recognizing how so much of our expectations of how a baby is to be grown up um, just assumes that the mother is going to take 6 months off from her life. And like I recognize that so many of the things we're trying to do with Achintya in so many other families, it's possible because the mother um, takes off from whatever profession or work she was doing um, in an earning capacity, right? Obviously, she's still doing a ton of work, taking care of the child, the household, etc. But all of those are possible because, like, a mother takes off a whole bunch of time, goes back to her native place if she was in another city, and spends a year, two, etc. Whereas, like, Janani's set up a bakery and kept two social enterprises running and all of those things. Felt
Yeah.
like you had a reaction to or an interesting thought at the start of what I said.
Yeah, on one hand, it's really, your body needs that 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Your body needs time off. It's no matter what stories you hear of women going back to fields to work immediately after giving birth. Either, maybe I'm just not taking good enough care of my body, but I needed the 6 months off. And as a progressive woman or whatever it is, I felt the need to get back to work.
As a couple that values equality.
No, as in, so if I didn't care about gender stereotypes, I might have just said, no, I need 6 months off.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, my enterprises needed it, and the
Yeah.
bakery happened, and it was a ball that I couldn't stop rolling once I started rolling it, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so circumstances were different, but feeling unproductive
Mm-hmm.
after giving birth
Mm-hmm.
and raising a 2-3 month old was because I thought as a woman I should not do that, fall into that stereotype.
But also, I feel like one. I totally agree that like the time off is needed for you to take care of your body. But and I think another side of that was people being surprised that I wasn't back to full time work the way I should have been. Like I feel like I had a lot of friends who were totally okay with that. Like they were like, yes, fathers take time. And I remember the maternity leave policy in Cuba, which basically allows any parent or caregiver to take that leave.
Nice.
Um, but anyway, so yeah, I feel like we've thought and talked some interesting stories on this topic.
Yeah. A meander as usual. Well, we'd love to hear some of your stories.
Yes.
And we were told that we should not be talking for 20 minutes at a stretch.
So we're stopping at 19. Bye bye.